Hey guys, Terry here with the Forest Farm Project. Today we're going to talk about rental equipment, basically a wood chipper that we've got here. And we rent this from Boiling Spring Small Engine. They do an awesome job up there taking care of their equipment, and they've taken great care of us. We couldn't afford to buy a chipper like this, so having this available to the community is a great service to all of us. We're not associated with Boiling Spring Small Engine in any way, so I'm not, selling for them. I'm just telling you they do a good job there and reasonable rates. I'm going to show you what the blades look like. And they actually had to replace these blades recently because they got tore up by someone else. This is probably not something you want to fool with yourself. First off, the infeed chute is right there. So the trees are stuck in through there. This thing's spinning around, this motor's spinning it, and there's a flywheel in here with two cutting blades. And let's look at the blades here. This cutting blade right now is razor sharp. The kid, Zach, that changed these blades out, said he cut his hand on it. It just barely slipped across him, and this is like razor sharp. Well, you can imagine if you run rocks and dirt through here on roots and whatnot, and sometimes roots will have little rocks stuck in them. It just destroys that blade. And other people have rented these things and ran pallets through them. Pallets are full of nails, and it just takes big chunks of that metal out. We rented it one time, and we found pieces of wood that were pallet wood in there and nails in here. So we know they were running pallets through it. And that's just abusive. And if everybody did that, these blades cost them a little over $200. This thing rents for around $200, a little bit less. So that's very expensive for them to keep up with. If everybody abused these pieces of equipment, there wouldn't be any rental centers because they just couldn't afford it. And how many people abuse it is going to determine whether they want to rent it anyway. You got to make a profit when you run a business. So all I'm saying is, try to be considerate when you rent the equipment, because if you want it to work well for you, you need to take care of it yourself. But those blades are really as big of trees and stuff as they have to cut up. They're pretty delicate when you get right down to it, if it's not just wood. So basically, guys and gals, what I'm saying is try to treat equipment that you rent with respect, because if you're going to rent it, you're probably going to want to rent it again, and you'd want it to work right for you. We've rented this thing in the past and found out that it had dirt run through it. The blades were completely dull, and it takes forever to run a tree through it because it just bogs down every time you try to stick anything in there. And it's got a feed wheel that automatically feeds. Well, then it senses when this flywheel isn't going fast enough, and it kicks the tree back, and that feed wheel holds it back until the thing gets back up to speed. Well, when it's not cutting, it's just like just instead of just steady cutting. So good sharp blades are great. Dull blades are awful. And try and have a little respect. These guys are providing us a great service, and we should at least be considerate and try and take care of the equipment. If I have anything, like if there's trees that's been on the ground for a while, I wouldn't run them through here. We've got stuff piled up here, but we just cut this like 2 days ago. It hasn't rained or anything. It's on top of grass or leaves, so it's not going to be dirty. But if you've got stuff that's been sitting in dirt, especially for a couple months or something or longer, there's dirt just clung to it, little rocks and whatnot. You think about a pocket knife and take a hammer, put that blade on the rock, and then hit the blade with a hammer. That's exactly what you're doing to this when you run rocks and dirt through this thing. You're destroying those blades. I wouldn't run that through the chipper because that just tears them blades up. So if you like what you see, give us that big thumbs up. Check us out on Facebook, share us with your friends, and thanks for watching.